Greetings, fellow outsiders, and welcome to a visual novel called Tentador Leches. In this game, we have a one-scene encounter with our local milkman, and it looks like there's 4 different endings, so there's 4 different ways this can go. There are some content warnings before I get started. There is references to unhealthy relationships, many suggestive jokes, and one ending has some psychological horror elements to it, apparently. So let's play. Thank you for signing up for milk delivery with Meadow Farms Milk Distribution. Who is this order for? Miss. And your name? Alieann. Given your neighborhood, you'll be added to our delivery man, Mr. Sterling's existing route. You can expect him around 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is kind of early for milk delivery, but I'll be there. Thank you for your business, Miss Alieann. There are a lot of rumors about the local milkman. In a small town like this, it's inevitable that there's a little bit of gossip about everyone, but there's something about the white-haired milkman that just gets people's imaginations going. Maybe it's because of how private he is about his home life and his wife. I say wife with that tone because despite living in this town for several years now, Cooley Sterling is the only one of the young couples to ever leave that little house they bought together. Some people doubt she exists at all, and while there are many theories about that, most people agreed about one thing. The man is attractive, but a complete airhead. And because of this fact, many people believe him to be a seducer of some kind. Many, a housewife and rumored some bachelors, have flirted with the man in hopes of testing this theory and potentially having some scandalous fun with him as well. I'm not that sort of person, but I'll admit to polite curiosity about the man. I'm not getting my hopes up for anything, but I'm looking forward to meeting him and finding out just how many of these rumors about him are true. Right on cue this morning, I hear a knock at the door. Before he can set down the milk and go, I open the door. Hello? Oh, good morning, Miss Alieann. I didn't know if you were an early riser or not. Good to know, though. I always like to introduce myself to new customers. My name is Cooley Sterling, and I'm your new milkman. As long as you don't complain to my boss or something. Nice to meet you. Are you here to give... Oh, they were right. You are... I'm gonna go with this one. We're going with the first one, being polite. Nice to meet you, Cooley. I've heard about you around town. It looks like you're as friendly as they say you are. Well, I really hope so. I'm the first person a lot of people see in their day, so I don't want to start them off on a bad foot. You mean the wrong foot? Is that how this saying goes? I guess I've been saying it wrong this whole time. But you catch my meaning, right? It's so important to start your day off right. Going into a hard day is so much harder if you don't get a start with a good attitude. I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about now. I've heard he's a real chatterbox though, so maybe this is par for the course. I mean, I never talk badly of my neighbors, so I don't mean anything negative by this, but a lot of people in this town have a sort of gloomy outlook. I can't claim to know their problems, but I'm pretty sure they have their reasons. It's a little sad when you think about it. Maybe it's the gloomy weather. We've had a lot more sunny days back where I'm from. But I guess you're used to things being cloudy. It wouldn't show as much, right? It would be nice if the milk dispensary let me deliver cookies or something with the milk to help make people's mornings a little nicer. But I guess if people ate cookies every day with their breakfast, it would be bad for their teeth and they'd just be unhappy all over again. I guess if it were something as simple as that, though, it would already be fixed. People don't just wake up and decide to be in a bad mood after all. I just noticed since I got to see a good portion of the town every morning that some people have more of a tenacity towards it than others. Good lord. He is still talking. What about you, Miss Alieann? Would you consider yourself to be a morning person? It clicked through that I didn't get to. I always wake up at sunrise. I sleep in whenever I have the chance, or I don't like waking up at all. Let's go with the happy options for this run. I'm always up at sunrise. I am always up at sunrise. Me too. I guess that's obvious given my job, but I'm up at sunrise even on days when I have no deliveries to make. Best time to start the day is at the start of the day. The weather's perfect for running in the morning too. When things start cooling off, it's not as big of a deal, but a brisk morning workout is a lot better than going home so sweaty that I need a bath. Plus breakfast. Breakfast is a good thing that I want to get up early for. It's the only meal of the day with pancakes. What if you decide to have pancakes for dinner? Huh? Do people do that? Sometimes. It's not like a restaurant where stuff gets, where they shut off the griddle after a certain time of the day. Ooh, well maybe I'll try to treat myself to some pancakes for dinner tonight then. He's so easy to please. You know, Cooley, I had hired you because I had heard about you from other customers. Really? Well, I hope you heard good things then. I'd assume so anyway, since you hired me. Of course, though, I thought you would already know what people were saying since... Since what? Do I really want to tell the friendly dope what people are saying about him? I heard you were very nice, or I heard you were a seducer. I heard you were very nice. He seems nice. So let's be nice. I can't do it to him. Look at that big dumb smile. This guy's a sweetheart and obviously just a victim to all these sorts of rumors. I heard you were exceptionally nice, so you seem like a good person to meet. Oh, do people really say that about me? Shucks. I thought you were gonna say you heard some nasty rumor or something, or that you just heard about my weird looks. Weird looks? What weird looks? You don't have to pretend not to notice. My hair and my eyes. People have always thought my eyes were bizarre looking, but then a couple years ago I started going gray and now it's fully white. I have a lot of people make comments about it, especially with my white uniform. I've heard every milk joke there is about it. Make a milk joke about his hair or compliment him? Let's compliment him. Well, I think you look rather striking. I like your eyes and there's no shame in going gray early. It happens to a lot of people. Oh, thanks. That's very kind of you. I know people who go gray young aren't unheard of, especially in this town, but I don't know. I just feel like I look different enough, you know? Yes, and I'm sure being a milkman doesn't help with the white uniform, but it does mean you can play in your clothes to look good with your hair. Oh, you mean you think certain clothes would look better with my white hair? Maybe. You can wear lighter colors than other than white to really stand out if you wanted to. Think of how you would look in a blue sweater vest or a green tie to go with your eyes. I guess I never thought of it that way. I'm so used to when my wife used to pick out my clothes that I haven't put much thought into it these days. I'll have to use your advice. Milkman looks plumb pleased with his positive attention. I'm glad I could help, Cooley. So have you always worked as a milkman? You seem kind of young, but people talk about you as if you've been their milkman for years. Well, I've lived here for about 3 years and got the job right away, so yeah, I guess as far as this town goes, I've always worked as a milkman. Do you like the work? Of course! I'm really a people person, you see, so I love having a job that lets me meet and get to know so many of my neighbors. It has some little drawbacks too, but nothing really all that serious. What kind of drawbacks? Given that he seems to be kind of a chatterbox, I realize now that I really only have to ask him questions to keep him talking. Maybe if I get him on a roll, I get the chance to ask him some more prying things. Well, nothing too serious, just little things like how I have to remember a lot of stuff and how a lot of people knowing me means a lot more people than normal mentioning me to each other. I mean, I understand, it's a close-knit community, people are gonna gossip, but sometimes I feel like if I didn't stick out like a sore thumb, that I'd have less people telling lies about me or making assumptions about my life. What kind of assumptions? Or why don't they just ask you about the gossip? What kind of assumptions are you talking about? What kind of assumptions? Well, a lot of things. My wife has to stay home due to an illness, and people are always assuming things about that. Like they think I don't want to spend time with her, or that I'm not taking good care of her because I'm not always home. But how would I take care of her with no money? I have to keep my job. Really? What a strange thing to talk about behind your back. I suppose they must be really bored. Yeah, right? My life isn't terribly exciting. I can't imagine why people would waste their time giving any thought to me. That's a little more harsh than I meant, but the sentiment is there. They should have something going on in their own life instead of digging into yours. It's very hypocritical of me to say this, of course, since I only picked up this service in order to get to know this mysterious seducer milkman, who I now realize was a work of fiction, going by Cooley's complete lack of any sort of flirtatious behavior. But at least I'm not spreading rumors about his ill wife of all things. Still, his relief in hearing me agree with him makes me feel a little bad about this whole venture. Have you ever thought about doing something else, if this job causes so many rumors to be said about you? I wouldn't say the job itself causes the problem. Maybe it makes it spread a little further is all, but not like I grew up wanting to be a milkman. Of course, I've wanted other jobs. At one time, I wanted to be a jeweler. I learned some simple things, but it's just not practical for someone with no startup money. I have more savings than I did back then in my early 20s, but I'm still paying off my house and I have to make sure that I keep emergency funds for Venus. Venus? That's a pretty strange name. So is Cooley, though. Well, it's not her birth name. We got married, and we chose new names for each other. She wanted us to have striking names like a pair of movie stars, hence a change. It's really too bad we never made it to Hollywood, but it was still symbolic. A new us for a new life together. So romantic. She named you after a dog, or you named her after a goddess? You named her after a goddess, because Venus, the goddess of love. You named her after a goddess? Yep, after the goddess of beauty. She is the most beautiful, amazing woman I have ever met. We may have married young, but I know how lucky I am. I never met anyone so radiant for as long as I've lived. That's kind of sweet. I'm also surprised a silly man like Cooley would know words like radiant or about Roman gods. I'm sure that she really enjoys her name then. That's a very flattering choice. Well, she kept it, so I certainly hope so. Anyway, specifics about names really aren't that important. My point is that I just need a stable job more than I need a fun job, and this job is enjoyable enough. It keeps me and Venus fed and lets me set a little aside for her medical expenses. Right, that's very practical of you, so you're probably right. A few rumors never hurt anyone that bad anyway. Right. Well, I really should get going, miss. Lots of deliveries to get to. Here's your milk. I'll let you get back to that. It was very nice meeting you, Mr. Sterling. It was nice meeting you too. I'm looking forward to seeing you each morning. Have a nice day. He was so nice. For all my wanting to pry, it just turned out that Cooley was a nice man. A little strange, yes, but nice all the same. I didn't find out all that I wanted to know, but I'm glad I decided to meet him anyways. Maybe I've even found a friend. The next morning, I get up early again, awake early once more. I found myself looking forward to seeing Cooley again today. When the knock at the door finally comes, I'm quick to answer. Hi, Cooley. Oh, good morning. You were quick today. Good morning, Cooley. Was I? Oh, I'm just more awake today. Already had my coffee. Without any milk? You'll have me out of work. But I'm actually glad you're up. I have something special in the car for you today. Here's your milk, and I'll be right back with it. Oh, all right. Cooley heads back out to his little moped bike with the cart on the back. I can hear him unwrapping something before he returns. Cooley! I made these for you. I don't remember if I mentioned it yesterday, but I do a lot of baking at home, and I thought it would be nice to bring a new friend a sweet surprise. I hope you like chocolate chip. Oh, Cooley, that's very sweet of you, actually. Thank you. So you like them? I take one off the top of the plate to try. It's absolutely heavenly. Oh yeah, they're very good. Are you gonna leave the plate with me too? Yeah, keep it as long as you need. I'll be seeing you each morning anyway, so you can give it back whenever you're done with it. Cooley looks absolutely thrilled as I accept the plate of cookies from his hands. That was so nice. I hope you really do like them and aren't just saying that to spare my feelings. I got chewed out a little for taking so long yesterday, so I need to get going on my deliveries, but maybe we can talk some more when I'm not working. Of course! Maybe if you can come back later, we can share the cookies with some tea. Oh, I'd love that. Thanks. I'll see you later then. Bye, Alieann. Bye, Cooley. As Cooley leaves, I have another cookie, thinking about how quickly he warmed up to me. People said he was friendly, but I'm somewhat hopeful that this is more than just a cordial platitudes from a nice man. I think he genuinely wants a friend. Hopefully, I can be that for him. He seems like he could use one. Good end. Milk and cookies. That was so sweet. Now I don't want to do some of the other options that, like, might hurt Cooley. Cooley's such a nice guy. Oh, man. All right, so we got the first ending, milk and cookies. Shall we go back in and see what other endings we can get? I'm going to feel so bad if we end up hurting Cooley's feelings. He's so nice. Okay, so this time I think what we're going to do is go with the second option and see where it leads. We'll just see where it leads. Are you here to give me your milk, Mr. Milkman? Well, it's your milk. You paid for it. Or do you mean like I work for the dairy farm? I'm just the delivery guy. But I can promise you it's really good quality milk. I even special order buttermilk from them from time to time to make for my baking. Well, he's certainly sweet, so at least he has that going for him. It was a double entendre, Cooley. I meant the milk you're delivering and something else. He just needs a little help to get it. Double entendre? I think I've heard that phrase before. It's Italian, right? Oh, are you Italian? Jesus. You know, we have quite a few Italian restaurants here in town. I was surprised, but I guess it's not terribly far shot from New York to here, and a lot of the Italian folks I've met are from there. But I also know a man all the way from France. I think it's nifty people from so far away would settle down in our little town. When people called him an airhead, they really weren't kidding, were they? Clearly I'm getting nowhere being subtle. Are you trying to get cute with me? Because you're already cute. But this playing dumb is not. Huh? Playing dumb? About what? Why are you mad at me? Oh my god, I feel so bad, Cooley, I'm sorry. I'm not mad, I just want you to pay attention and not go off on some tangent when I'm here casting eyes at you. Dude, he's doing his job. He stares at me blankly for a moment. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I think I remember a fairy tale from when I was a kid that used that phrase, like my mom was yelling at her son because she told him to cast eyes at someone and he went and threw sheep's eyes at a girl. Oh, that can't be right? Oh my god. He's just so dumb. If he's gonna feign ignorance, I'll have to push the matter myself. What? Seduction? Start. I lean against the doorway with my hand on my hip. Well, Mr. Sterling, I see that you're the type of man who likes to play games. I do, but what makes you say that? Because of how you toy with my feelings. Oh no, did I say something rude? Oh my god. No, but you're so hot, it's criminal. That it's illegal. I'm gonna have to bring you in and handcuff you. Why do you have handcuffs? Are you a police officer? No, they're sexy handcuffs. Oh, I get it. You're telling a joke. Okay, so what makes this pair of handcuffs sexier than the other handcuffs? It wasn't a joke, it was... Never mind. His head is thicker than any other part on him. You know, it's too bad that they don't have you in a white uniform. Huh? Why? Because I want to see the marks my shoes leave when I step on you. Well... I don't think you know what you're saying when you say things like that. It would be easy to, misconstrue. His ears look a little red despite his attempts to hide it. I wonder if he really doesn't get what I'm talking about or if he's just playing coy with me. He already has to prove himself to be a little dense, so it's not impossible. And besides, I hope your shoes weren't dirty. I do my best to look really clean since my clothes are white. Nobody would want to take their food from a dirty milkman. Oh my god! What do I do? Okay, we'll go with this one. I feel like this one is less bad. You already are a dirty milkman, aren't you? Just dirty in a different way. Hard to say. I don't think you know me well enough to know for sure. Wow, that was very nearly an answer. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Or maybe he realized the rumors about him are very exaggerated for me to think this would work. Well, I would love to get to know you more personally. Intimately, even. Would you, though? You kind of seem like you've only got one thing on in mind to me. It's not the only thing I have in mind, but it seems to finally have caught your attention. I mean, I definitely will remember this introduction, but I should remind you I'm married. Not that I'm not flattered, but... What? I just really love my wife, and I would never do anything to jeopardize that. I hope that didn't hurt your feelings. Oh, Cooley's too nice. Of course not, I completely understand. You don't know how glad I am to hear that. I understand that. I just have to be your wife, or I can only have you in my dreams? No, we're not gonna be rude. We'll go with this one. This one's less bad. It looks like the only place we can be together is in my dreams. I'll see you there. Aw. Oh, that's surprisingly romantic. Keep practicing with lines like that and you'll find yourself a single sweetheart in no time. I mean it. You You might need to work on your choices, picking me of all people, but you do seem very nice, and I'm sure you'll find someone. Getting this level of reaction out of Cooley is honestly satisfaction enough. I'm not going to tell anyone about this, obviously, but I realize I found a certain little thrill in this. I set out to meet this mysterious romantic milkman, only to very forwardly flirt with a man I know to be married. What scandalous fun. Well, this has been a nice talk, but I really do have to get to the rest of my deliveries. Cooley hands me the bottle of milk, and I accept it. Our hands touch briefly, and I notice he's very warm. I wonder if he's always like that. I'll see you tomorrow, Miss Alieann. See you tomorrow, Cooley. And off he goes to continue his route. I didn't quite get what I expected from meeting the milkman, but I came as close as possible, I think, and it was very fun. I think I'll be looking forward to talking more with Cooley. And lucky me that he comes every day. Good end. Just peachy. Oh, that was also another good end. Oh my god, our character is like very, very forward, very early on with meeting someone. You know what? Let's just see what other two endings we could possibly get with our lovely milkman. So I've been as nice as I can to Cooley. And it doesn't get me any new endings, so that means we gotta start ruffling some feathers, even though I feel really bad because Cooley does seem like a very nice man. So, we're gonna go with this route this time. Oh, they were right, you're handsome. You are handsome. I wondered if the rumors were just exaggerated. Huh? The milkman's posture suddenly goes rigid, caught off guard by the blunt compliment. It takes him a moment to regain his composure. Well, thank you. My wife thinks so too. I mean, I hope so anyways, not always, but usually. I mean, she's sick, so I haven't been able to ask recently, but any criticisms of how I look were said in good faith, you know? She just wants me to be my best. Sorry about that. That was probably too much. I should have just said that I'm married. Yikes. Alright, we're gonna say your wife sounds awful. Your wife sounds awful, Cooley. She should be nicer to you. Hey, don't talk about her that way. Did I make her sound that bad? She's wonderful, I promise. Maybe that was a little blunt, but it sounds like she really has you stressing about your looks. I stress about everything. Don't blame it on her just because I'm not well balanced. His grip on the lock of hair he keeps playing with tightens some. It looks like he really doesn't like talking about this. And anyway, she makes me really happy. She's the love of my life, the sun of my sky, the better half in every way. She's so beautiful and talented. If not for her health issues, I bet she'd be a famous movie star by now. He seems to mean what he says. The relationship doesn't sound normal if he idolizes her this much and she gives him crap about his looks of all things. Not to overstep, Mr. Sterling, but why is she so critical of your marriage is so good? That's very much overstepping, actually, but if you're gonna pry anyway, I'm just kind of a screw-up. She's got a lot to be frustrated with, but she loves me enough that she stays with me anyway. I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk about her like that. You don't even know her. How can her not liking the way you look be your fault? I've heard a lot of people tell me about how handsome you are, you know. What? Do you mean a lot of people? That many people talk about me? Whoops. I would have bet money that he knew about what people said about him, but it looks like the rumors of his obliviousness are more than true than those about him being some kind of homewrecker. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are attracted to you. I guess I should be flattered, but do people really have so little respect for my marriage? This does explain why the doctor's compliments are so relentless. I was accused once of lying about having a wife, you know. I just don't get it. Is it because I'm nice to people? I can be nice to people without wanting to sleep with them. It used to be the opposite. Before my wife fell ill, men were constantly giving her attention. It was like I didn't even exist. But at least I understand that better. She's a goddess and I'm some kind of shrimpy and unintimidating thing, and she always has to tell me what to do. They probably felt sorry for her having to put up with me. Cooley, you're so... Don't be so hard on yourself. I really don't blame them. I'm so lucky she stuck with me. Sounds more like he's stuck with her than she's sticking with him. But he is a little bit strange. I don't think he has said one normal-sounding thing about her. Press about his wife or change the subject? I'm not going to change the subject, mostly because I want to know more about Cooley and his wife, and I also think this is just going to lead us back to the other dialogue that gets us like a better ending. So let's press about his wife. Sounds like things are pretty bad at home, huh? You're awfully dodgy about it. Speaking of her illness, too. Is she really ill, or is it that you guys are having relationship troubles and you don't want to talk about it? I can understand being reluctant to admitting to filing for divorce. Oh, please, miss, this is so inappropriate. I'm shocked at you. Nobody is getting a divorce. She is very sick and she needs my care anyway. And even if she did want to leave me, I would be grateful just to take care of her, even if it meant seeing her with another man. Which there is no other man before you jump to that, Nosy Rosie. I only meant this hypothetically. She's all worked up now. Or he's all worked up now. His grip on that hair is getting tighter. Actually, you know what? I just noticed the time. I really need to get back to my deliveries. Please take your milk, Miss Alieann. I need to leave. I reluctantly take my milk from him. The tension in his fingers is visible even as he lets go of the bottle. His hand curls right back into a tense fist. He's awfully eager to leave all of a sudden now that I question his story about his sick wife. He's obviously hiding something. Thank you for buying from Meadow Farms Milk Distribution. I hope you have a nice day. See you tomorrow, Cooley, or... Is she dead? What? Whoa, that was more reaction than I was expecting. He smiles as if he didn't just tear out a tuft of his own hair. I said, is she dead? You're so cagey about it. Did she pass away from her illness, or perhaps you put her out of her misery? That's... You're sick. Horrible. How dare you wish harm on Venus? She's... You've got a disgusting sense of humor. I wasn't joking or wishing for it to happen to her, but you're acting really weird and it's suspicious. I would never harm her. I'd sooner chew my own fingers off. My life is meaningless without her. I love her. I love her more than anything. Do you know what that's like? Loving anything other than yourself? Heartless. I find it hard to believe you ever have because you're heartless. He's practically trembling. I'm starting to get a little nervous he's about to do something. Perhaps I spoke a little too out of line, but his reaction is verging on a nervous breakdown. I mean it. Plenty of people have treated me terribly in this town. In plenty of towns. I can live with it. Who cares? But to actually accuse me of killing my wife? Very funny, Miss Alieann. Very impressive. You're so cool and tough, making jokes at the expense of a sick woman whose lousy husband is the only one to take care of her. His voice cracks with his fake laugh. I'm unsure whether he's on the brink of violence or of throwing up. Either way, I take a step back and he notices. What's wrong? Are you uncomfortable? Good. We're on the same page then, finally. Okay. You make me sick. I'm so sorry. That was uncalled for. Whoa. Please, don't tell my boss about all that. It was just a misunderstanding. Well, it wasn't a misunderstanding so much as, thanks, now I have a lot of deliveries to get to, so I'd better get going. Have a nice day, Miss Alieann. I'll see you tomorrow. That was a very unsettling experience. I considered the idea of calling to cancel my delivery service, but Cooley seems kind of unhinged. I'm more unnerved at the idea that he knows where I live if I get him fired than I am with him just leaving the milk on my doorstep. I decide to just forget about all the strange rumors about the milkman, as clearly, in this case, the fact is stranger than fiction. As clearly in this case, fact is stranger than fiction. I head back to the kitchen with my milk to put it away. I have no appetite to make anything for breakfast to have it with after that. A knock wakes me from my peaceful sleep. I turn in my bed and look out the window. My curtains are drawn, but through the sliver of glass I can see between them. I see stars in the sky. Reluctantly, I turn to my bedside table and switch on the lamp. I see that it is currently 4 a.m. The knock comes again. It's tempting to just roll over and go back to sleep. I can't, though. Someone at my door so early in the morning, it must be something important, right? I sigh softly and get up out of bed, slipping on my housecoat over my pajamas and going to the front door to answer it. Hello. Things are quiet for a moment before a person steps into the light of the doorway. Good morning, Miss Alieann. Mr. Sterling, I suppose it's technically morning, yes, but do you have any idea what time it is? The sun isn't even up yet. I groggily frown at the milkman for his intrusion and reach out to take the milk bottle from his hand, wanting him to get out and go away so I can go back to sleep. Sorry about that. I guess I got through breakfast too fast today. Well, you look really tired. That's because I am. Cooley, you just woke me up. I would probably have only slept for another hour and a half, but it's still very annoying to be woken up from a nice deep sleep. Oops, well, I'm sorry about that. Well, on the bright side, you know what helps a lot of people get to sleep? Warm milk. In my tired state, I do somewhat question Cooley's return to his upbeat self, but mostly I find it annoying. Great, well, thanks for the milk. I am going back to bed. Drink it. What did you do to the milk? Excuse me? I said, drink it. Please. The strangeness of the situation hits me like a ton of bricks. Why do you want me to drink it? Because I delivered it, of course. I didn't get a chance yesterday to ask you how you liked it. So you want me to drink the milk right now? Yes. Yeah. I don't think so. I'll taste it with my breakfast later today and just tell you what I thought when you come by tomorrow. Come on, just drink it. It's a special delivery. He's acting weird again. I don't like this. I pop off the replaceable cap of the bottle. He's clearly watching me in anticipation of me taking a drink. I look down to check the contents instead. What? Christ, I see some white hairs in the milk, and on closer inspection, an out-of-place smear of red floating in the white milk. Well, aren't you going to drink it? Cooley? I really hoped you would, you know. I went so very far out of my way. I just couldn't wait for my regular route either. This was on my mind, so I couldn't sleep. Cooley? This is revolting. What is this? What are you trying to pull? Well, I'm not trying to pull anything. I'm just trying to fix what happened yesterday. Fix it? What the heck does that even mean? Well, we were having so much trouble yesterday getting on the same page. I think it's just because you're a stranger, but you wanted to get personal with me so quickly. So I thought about it, and I realized you weren't actually trying to be mean. I felt so bad about it afterwards. I never lose my temper like that. The problem was just that you and I had trouble seeing eye to eye. You can't imagine being in my situation. You can't relate to me. It's not really fair of me to expect you to understand me as a person so quickly anyways. My situation is a very unusual one. Cooley, that's not the problem here. He ignores me and continues speaking. So I realized, while I was thinking it over, you just need to be closer to me to know what I'm going through. That's why I've given you a part of me. So drink it. I don't have another option. We have to drink it. This whole situation is just too much. I don't want to deal with the aftermath of whatever reaction Cooley would have to a refusal, especially when it's still dark out and the neighbors are still asleep. Reluctantly and with disgust written all over my face, I raise the bottle and take the quickest swig of it I can. I can barely hold back a gagging sound as the feeling of hair fibers on my tongue. I force a smile for Cooley, hoping he is satisfied. See? That was so easy. Hopefully now that I'm part of you, we can get along better. Yeah, okay. I feel so much better. I should get back to pick up the deliveries for everyone else for today. I'll be sure to bring you a spare bottle when I come back later. See you around, Miss Alieann. I wait for a moment to be sure he's gone before closing the door and locking it. That was the single most bizarre and terrible experience of my life. I can't even get to sleep afterwards. I dump the tainted milk down the drain, tempted to throw away the bottle as well. But the bottles are collected to be reused, and I don't want even more trouble. I don't want to cancel my service and draw suspicion to myself. It looks like all I can do is pretend nothing happened and ensure I'm never to see the milkman again when he delivers my milk. Bad end. Rotten milk. Gross. Wow. What an ending. Well, hopefully the fourth ending is a little less, vomit-inducing. Let's see. Okay, this time we're gonna say, nice to meet you, Cooley. Nice to meet you, Cooley. I've heard about you around town. It looks like you're as friendly as they say you are. Well, I really hope so. I'm the first person a lot of people see in their day, so I don't want to start them off on a bad foot. You mean the wrong foot? Is that how the saying goes? Because I've been saying it wrong this whole time. But you catch my meaning, right? It's so important for you to start your day off right. Going into a hard day is so much harder if you don't get a start with a good attitude. I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about now. I've heard he's a real chatterbox though, so maybe it's par for the course. I mean, I never talk badly about my neighbors, so I don't mean anything negative by this, but a lot of people in this town have a sort of gloomy outlook. I can't claim to know their problems, but I'm pretty sure they have their reasons. It's just a little sad when you think about it. Maybe it's the gloomy weather? We had a lot more sunny days back where I'm from, but I guess if you're used to things being cloudy, it wouldn't show as much, right? It would be nice if the milk dispensary let me deliver cookies or something with the milk to help people make their mornings a little bit nicer. But I guess if people ate cookies every day, they would be bad for their teeth and they'd just be unhappy all over again. I guess if it were something as simple as that, though, it would already be fixed. People don't just wake up and decide to be in a bad mood after all. I just notice, since I get to see a good portion of the town every morning, that some people have more of a tenacity towards it than others. Good lord, he's still talking. What about you, Miss Alieann? Would you consider yourself to be a morning person? So let's be the negative type. I don't like waking up at all. Looks like he didn't find it funny. You shouldn't say things like that, you know? It's, bad luck. Waking up can be hard, but things can always be worse. So I should be glad I get up because things can get worse? Yes, you should be glad that you are awake in case there came a day you couldn't wake up. That's, Somewhere along the line, things have gotten a little deeper in with the milkman than I wanted them to get, but it does make me wonder about the rumors. He's such an upbeat guy. Maybe he's a widower trying to cover up his grief. I'd better tread more carefully with the dark humor unless I want to go upsetting him. You know, you're different from what I expected. What do you mean? What were you expecting from me? Did I do something wrong? How honest to be in this situation. He seems a little sensitive right now. I heard you were very nice. I was told you were a really friendly man, very upbeat, so I wasn't expecting this. I am, though. You were the one who brought this up. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been so critical with you. It was none of my business. Never mind. Maybe I should be glad people are saying this sort of thing about me instead of criticizing my looks. Your looks? Well, people have to criticize. You don't have to pretend not to notice. My hair and my eyes. People have always thought my eyes were bizarre looking, but then a couple years ago I started going gray and now it's fully white. I have a lot of people make comments about it, especially with my white uniform. I've heard every milk joke there is about it. Okay, even though I don't want to be mean, we're gonna make a milk joke about his hair and see what this dialogue is. It would be normal looking if you just started drinking chocolate milk instead. Because then I have brown hair, good one. He really didn't like that. Never mind the rumors. There's a lot of gossip in a small, close-knit community like this. I'm sure you'd rather come to your own conclusions about what sort of person I am, wouldn't you? Let's just get to know each other. So, have you always worked as a milkman? You seem kind of young, but people talk about you as if you've been their milkman for years. Well, I've lived here for about 3 years and got the job right away, so yeah. I guess as far as this town goes, I've always worked as their milkman. Do you like the work? Of course. I'm really a people person, you see, so I love having a job that lets me meet and get to know so many of my neighbors. It has some little drawbacks too, but nothing really all that serious. What kind of drawbacks? Given that he seems to be kind of a chatterbox, I realize now that I really only have to ask him a couple questions to get him talking. Maybe if I get him on a roll, I can have the chance to ask him some more prying things. Well, nothing too serious, just little things, like how I have to remember a lot of stuff and how a lot of people knowing me means more people than normal mentioning me to each other. I mean, I understand, it's a close-knit community, people are going to gossip, but sometimes I feel as if I didn't stick out like a sore thumb that I'd have less people telling lies about me or making assumptions about my life. What kind of assumptions? What kind of assumptions? Well, a lot of things. My wife has to stay home due to an illness, and people are always assuming things about that. Like they think I don't want to spend time with her, that I'm not taking good care of her because I'm not always home. But how would I take care of her with no money? I have to keep my job. Really, what a strange thing to talk about behind your back. I suppose they must be really bored. Yeah, right? My life isn't terribly exciting. I can't imagine why people would waste their time giving any thought to me. Well, that's a little bit more harsh than I meant, but the sentiment is there. They should have something going on in their own life instead of digging into yours. It's very hypocritical of me to say this, of course, since I only picked up the service in order to get to know the mysterious seducer milkman, who I now realize was a work of fiction going on by Cooley's complete lack of any sort of flirtatious behavior. But at least I'm not spreading rumors about his ill wife of all things. Still, his relief in hearing me agree with him makes me feel a little bit bad about this whole venture. Have you ever thought about doing something else? If this job causes so many rumors to be said about you. I wouldn't say it's the job itself that causes the problem. Maybe it makes it spread a little further is all, but it's not like I grew up wanting to be a milkman. Of course, I've wanted other jobs. One time I wanted to be a jeweler. I learned simple things, just not practical for someone just with no startup money. I have more savings than I did back in my early 20s, but I'm still paying off my house and have to make sure I keep emergency funds for Venus. Venus? That's a pretty strange name. So is Cooley, though. Well, it's not her birth name. When we got married, we chose new names for each other. She wanted us to have striking names like a pair of movie stars, hence the change. It's really too bad that we never made it to Hollywood, but it was still symbolic, a new us for a new life together. So romantic. You know what I'm wondering is, if they like committed crimes together and they had to change their names for that reason. Do you know what I mean? Like they're on the run, they're criminal, and they're on the run, and they had to, anyway. I'm coming up with this whole backstory for poor Cooley. Okay, we're gonna ask, she named you after a dog? So she named you Cooley, like the dog breed? They're really cute dogs if you've ever seen one, and their eyes are pretty vivid like mine. It's just kind of an odd thing for a woman to call her husband. I just assumed you'd had eccentric parents. Hey, didn't we just talk about how I didn't like it when people assume things about my life? I don't even have parents. Sorry. Anyway, specifics about names aren't really important. My point is that I just need a stable job more than I need a fun job, and this job is enjoyable enough. Keeps me and Venus fed and lets me set a little aside for her medical expenses. Right? That's very practical of you, so you're probably right. A few rumors never hurt anyone that badly anyway. Right. Well, I really should get going, miss. Lots of deliveries to get to. Here's your milk. I'll let you get back to that. It was very nice meeting you, Mr. Sterling. Oh yeah, it was really meeting you too. I don't think he liked talking to us this time. Well, that was odd. I didn't really find out what I wanted to know, but I suppose I can ask him some more next time he comes. Though I'm up early again this morning, I realize after some time no knock came to the door as it had yesterday. After some time I go to check the door, peering up and down the street for any sign of the milkman. As I do, the toe of my slipper nearly bumps the bottle off the front step. Ah, guess I missed him. I picked up my bottle and bring it back to the kitchen. It takes me a couple of early mornings to realize that Cooley seems to have changed his route to deliberately avoid talking to me. I know I was a little pushy, but how delicate is he that that's all it took for him not want... But how delicate is he that that's all it took to make him not want to face me? How irritating. Bad end, spoiled milk. Alright, well there we go. We got 2 bad ends and 2 good ends. I feel bad for poor little Cooley. It'd be interesting if the developer ever made a sequel for this to like figure out what's actually going on in the Sterling's household. That being said, I still really enjoyed this. This was a fun visual novel. Lots of really great moments in it. So on that note, I'm going to say farewell, friends. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, we're not alone out there, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.